All right, everybody, welcome to day 11 of Rise and Shine, Creating 2020 Vision. And today is day one of Mindset, and I'm happy to introduce today's guest, Jennifer Spor. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Kim. I'm just super excited to be here with you. I just always love speaking with you.
I feel the same way, so I'm really glad.
We're really glad. Having a good time.
I know we are. I know. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so welcome to everyone who is with us, whether you're live or on the replay. Let us know where you're connecting from. And this conversation is all about mindset. So what comes up for you throughout today's conversation? Let us know in what your takeaways are in the comments. We look forward to connecting with you there as well. So let me go ahead and give a brief little intro, like super brief intro of who Jennifer Spor is. She did a fantastic job when I said, just a little intro. She did a great job. So Jennifer Spor is a soul purpose coach and the host of the Awake and On Purpose podcast. And you can connect with her over at LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Jennifer Spor. You could also visit her at jenniferspor.com. And welcome again, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to be here with you and your tribe today. I'm excited.
Just the thoughts of awake and on purpose feel just, that feels so very fitting that you're also today's first mindset coach. I want to first ask you, what comes up for you when I ask you, what does mindset mean to you? Like, what shows up for you when you start thinking about mindset in general?
Gosh, wow, it's hard to narrow it down. Mindset is really everything. When I think of mindset, I think of having our thoughts, emotions, actions, energy, everything aligned to achieve what we want. I think success means something different for everybody. But that's really what it means to me. It means being empowered because, we have the power to create our own reality, right? We're not a victim of circumstance, and often at the time, if we're going through a challenging time, which I know a lot of people are right now, and in the last several months, especially, it can be hard for us to see when we're going through it at the time what the higher purpose is, for those experiences that we're having. But it's important for everybody to know that we're never stuck, It just requires you making a decision and setting an intention that you want something different for yourself. So anyway, so I could go on about that for, a week probably, but that's what it means to me when I think about it.
I love that. Well, and that's very fitting because it's very much aligned. How I see it, it's very much aligned with what you do with your clients. You're a soul purpose coach. You host this podcast called Awaken on Purpose. And I see this whole alignment of both energy and mind. I hadn't thought of it that way before. Does that resonate for you?
Yeah, mind, body, spirit. Yes. Yeah, everything's connected. Yes. Yeah, everything who we are, what we do, the essence of who we are is all aligned around what our purpose is for being here. And the billions of us have that. What's awesome is that not one of us is the same. It's pretty cool.
I agree. It is very cool. Okay, so I asked Jennifer, what is a mindset quote she would like to share with us, or an empowering quote she'd like to share with us? And she said, God doesn't put a dream on our heart that isn't meant to be achieved.
Yes.
Jennifer, say more about that.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about that. I don't know who said this originally, but everybody's heard it. Mind over matter, know, and it's so true. Everything that is in our external reality today once started out as a thought and an idea, right? But what happens is so many people have been conditioned to believe that they need to look externally for validation or solutions or to acquire something or for creation, but all of our answers are really within. And even if you look at it from not as much from a spiritual perspective and you look at it from a scientific perspective, there's the, mental plane, and then there's the physical plane. It's how matter forms, right? But a lot of people discount the dreams that they have as being childish or foolish, not feeling worthy of their big dreams or deserving around what can be possible. So I believe that, when we have a dream or an idea, it's there for a reason, and we're meant to take action on it.
What do you think is like a common belief or mindset that people get into? You already started to touch on it, but let's go a little deeper with the mindset that people might be in that prevents them from knowing that you have, just like your quote, that you have your dreams for a reason, that your purpose is meant for you. You uniquely are made for your purpose. So what do you think, what kind of mindset do you think people tend to have that gets in the way of them stepping into their purpose, and the type of mindset that supports them and actually opening up and embracing it and moving in that direction?
That's such a fantastic question. So every one of us, including you and I, right, are a product of our own beliefs and our past experiences. So a lot of what holds somebody back from pursuing their purpose, from stepping into new realms of possibility, is their mind assessing whether or not they should do that based upon their past experiences. You have to consciously make a decision to interrupt the pattern. I often also say that our mind is a faithful servant, but it is of this life only. Our soul is eternal. It has the blueprint for our lives, but we have to make a conscious decision to shift gears, if that makes sense.
I love that. Yes, I just saw a Matt Kahn quote the other day that had something to do with making that conscious decision to shift away from ego and patterns.
Yeah.
That may feel comfortable, but it's like, how comfortable is that comfort? We can be so comfortable with our discomfort just as much. And
yes.
Right?
Yes. I call that being comfortably unhappy. It's like so many people, and gratitude is a great example of this, right? Because gratitude is tremendously effective for us in, calling in and experiencing what we want for our lives. But a lot of people are taught to believe that gratitude means being thankful for what you have now, as if you should settle, right? I'm saying be thankful for what you have now, but aspire to greater levels, greater horizons of what's possible for you.
I love that you brought that up, because I noticed that a lot too. It's kind of like this stopping point. Like, okay, I'm just supposed to be grateful for this, and I'm not supposed to want anything more. And it's absolutely fine. It's okay to want something more. I mean, that's how we continue to grow too, is in the process of moving in those new directions. So I love that you mentioned that. I want to quickly acknowledge some of our live viewers here. We have Helene saying, I will receive my dream, for I know God will help me to receive it. Awesome, Helene. Awesome. And we have Sherry saying, Jennifer, what exactly do you offer as a soul purpose coach? Woo! It's like a jackpot question right there.
Wow. Yeah. So I offer group programs, from time to time, but I work with a lot of people privately. So everybody's path is different, right? But at a high level, what I do with people is help them gain the clarity and the confidence they need. I help them cultivate the mindset and the intuitive knowing that they need to live and lead on purpose, right? So there's a lot of mindset work involved. I also specialize in teaching people how to tap into their own intuitive gifts. we mentioned this earlier, a little bit earlier in our conversation, but all of our answers are really within. So when you start to identify the layers, essentially, of what has been holding you back, you know, the fear, the doubt around what is possible for you, you receive crystal clarity on your path, right? And so once you peel back those layers, you know, a lot of people talk about changing who they are right now. It is about change, but it's about remembering who you already are. You're already that person today. It's just life experiences and all of these things have masked, you know, the light of who you are. And so I help people peel back those layers and reveal that and step into their mission and why they're here.
I love that. It reminds me of the story of the Golden Buddha, who
Yes.
the layers of plaster got caked off, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, there's this amazing statue underneath what we thought was just like mounds of plaster.
Yes. Yes. Each one of us is that light.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was a great question, Sherry. I'm glad you asked it. And so we are moving on. I want to ask Jennifer. Let's see here. I asked Jennifer what her vision is for 2020. And Jennifer, feel free to let me know if there's anything new that shows up for you, because I know it's been a while since you first shared this with me.
Yeah.
But so when I asked Jennifer what her vision for 2020 is, she said, my vision and mission is to reach more conscious women leaders and support them to step into their light and fully embody their purpose and make an impact in our world, which triggers a ripple effect to inspire others to rise and do the same. It's time for all of us to rise, light workers, and assist those we're meant to serve in shifting into our new earth.
Yes.
I
know it's a big statement, right?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Is that still your current vision, or is there anything that's come up since then?
Yes. Now more than ever, I think we're far enough along in what's been happening the last few months that, you know, the way that we were living before is over. The old patriarchy and institutions and systems with which we've been existing by, you know, they don't work anymore, and they haven't been for quite some time. It's so important, you know, for everybody who's feeling called to make a bigger impact to step forward and pursue that, because now is the time for new creation, for a new way of living. And that's the other thing that a lot of people get held back by as well, is thinking, well, I don't see anyone else doing this XYZ thing out there, right? Mm-hmm. I would challenge those of you to consider that maybe what you're feeling called to do is a new creation that's meant to be birthed in the world. So follow that intuition, follow that calling.
I completely agree with that. So the first example that comes to mind for me is last year. It was a year ago, August. And I, for a while, had been getting this idea, you know what, I kind of just want to like read excerpts of books on YouTube, and then I want to like pull some cards. And it sounded like really fun for me, but I was like, I don't think anybody does that. It's kind of, I don't know. Are people even going to like that? I kept questioning it. And finally I was like, okay, Kim, you know what this is. You keep having this vision and this idea and feeling so good about it. That means something's going to come of it. Well, lo and behold, like people actually have been enjoying the videos. It's been a whole year. People still contact me because of those videos. And I even recently had an author of one of the books that I did a reading on email me and say, thank you. And we're in the process of bringing him onto the show. And it's just interesting to see how, yes, things have flowed from that. That did have a positive outcome. And it was fun. It was fun to see how what I felt actually meant something to other people too. And so that's that piece of allowing yourself to trust what you're feeling and not be limited by, just like what you were saying, right? No one else is doing this. Are there any, I don't know, simple exercises that you would like to share with people to help them step into, opening up that space of of like moving away from nobody else is doing this, or how can they step into their purpose more?
Excuse me. Yeah. What you said actually just now about opening up space is key. We live in a society of distraction. Technology is a blessing in so many ways, but in many other ways, it's like we always have our phone in front of us or something going on, right? The first step I would say is practicing mindfulness, really creating space for yourself to receive that guidance. I personally do meditation every morning because I feel like it really sets the tone for my day. And I set an intention also to receive whatever messages most need to come through for my highest good and the highest good of all, right? Because there's us and there's our mission, but there's also the collective. So that would be the first step. I would say practice on creating that space for yourself daily and just practice on being present. Because we can't change our past. Our future exists in potential, but it exists based upon where we're choosing to focus our energy, thoughts, emotions, and actions in the now. If you just focused on those things, it can be life-changing.
What would you say practicing mindfulness looks like?
Yes, it's an everyday, all day practice, right? And I don't, want anyone to get the impression that it's something that's hard, because it doesn't have to be hard, right? It's really about a self-awareness, and that takes practice at first. Something that I recommend to a lot of clients when they're first kind of starting out with this is whenever we feel sad, doubtful, worried, fearful, anything essentially besides feeling happy and content, it means that we're out of alignment somewhere, right? So the best way to drop into a more mindful space is that when you notice those times that you're out of alignment, step back and ask yourself, right? Take an observer role. Ask yourself, okay, this is interesting. I'm feeling this way. Why am I feeling this way? And it's likely going to be because you're focused on a past experience, or you're worried about something in the future that hasn't even happened yet. And that's what happens. A lot of times we're so worried about the future, it almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So just practice on raising your self-awareness and do it in real time. It's important to do it in real time because then you're not storing that energy. So if we notice that we're feeling off about something and we're like, okay, I noticed this, I'm feeling off about it, I'll deal with it tonight or whatever. And then likely it doesn't happen. You're suppressing those emotions and that energy, and all that happens is it continues to magnify and become something bigger. So just step back in the moment, assess why you're feeling that way, and then choose a new story, right? I know that's not, I know that that's not who I am now. I know that that's not who I want to be. And so I now choose to release that, and I choose to be happy, or whatever it is that you want to be, right? Affirm that to yourself and repeat that process every single time it comes up. And there might be days that you're doing it 20 times in a day. And that's okay, because at first you're unlearning a pattern. It's just like losing weight or anything else. It takes commitment and consistency. There's no magic pill for transformation. You have to want it. You have to ask yourself every day, what is more important to me? Do I want to stay comfortably unhappy, or do I really want to live?
Right. I love that you said, choose a new story, Because that story, that one story that we could keep playing in our mind of, I'm going to go back to, no one else is doing this thing, right? No one else is doing this thing. No one else is doing this thing. That's a story. That's one story. One story. So, okay, to shift out of that, what's another story you could create? And everything you just said, of course, then helps someone to get to that next story. So awesome. So Jennifer, I know that you have a freebie for everybody. Will you share with them? I'm going to put a link in the comments, but will you share with them what your freebie is and where they can go to get that?
Yes, it's a mini guided meditation for stepping out of your head space and into your heart space, right? So earlier in our conversation, we talked about how our mind is a faithful servant, but it keeps us in that same loop, right? Of taking the same approach to making decisions, where our soul, our heart, craves expansion. So this guided meditation is only 4 or 5 minutes long, so you can do it anywhere, take it anywhere with you, and it helps you to step into a space of expansion.
Awesome. And we also had a question. I'm going to find it again. Here we are. Sherry was asking, Jennifer, where can we find your podcasts?
Yeah, you can go straight to my website, jenniferspor.com. At the top of the page, you'll see a tab for podcasts. Or you can go to awakenonpurpose.com and find it directly there as well. I'm also on every major platform. So Spotify, iTunes, pretty much wherever you go to listen, I'm there.
Awesome. Awake and On Purpose podcast. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. And we also had Paula saying you also have to believe it. Yes. Believe what you want to achieve.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And so Jennifer, you mentioned there was a song that was potentially inspiring that you could recommend to everybody. What is that song?
Yeah, it's called Rise Up by Andra Day. It's a couple of years old, but the song and the energy around the song is very inspiring. It's about stepping into your power, moving mountains, Also, there's a really strong collaborative energy around it. I think of, women supporting women, and it's just an amazing song. You could go to YouTube and find it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm not going to play it here just to make sure we're all safe with our audio and everything, but I did find some of the lyrics and I went ahead and just pasted that into the chat. Thank you for sharing that. It says, you're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you. So we gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're going to walk it out and move mountains, and I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. Love it. Sounds like a great song. I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's a great song.
Awesome. Well, so Jennifer, I am going to pull some cards, just some quick cards here. I have my little stats right down next to me.
I love cards. This is fun.
I know. I think so too. Okay. So let's see here. What additional message wants to come out for everyone who views today's video? You know what? Not yet. Okay. So, and I actually want to say, Jennifer, I don't think I've told you this. When I pull cards, I actually do something that you taught me to tune in and just be in that space of alignment as I pull the cards. So I just want to share that with everyone. It was just the whole dropping into your heart thing, and the way that Jennifer taught it to me. I was like, oh, thank you. That finally makes sense the way she taught it to me. So, okay, let me just let's see what message wants to come out for everybody who views.
Ooh, the sun came out all of a sudden.
That's awesome. And so, okay, there we go. It says, I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And the back of it says, I see myself healthy, whole, and living in a society where it is safe for me to be who I am and to love others. Awesome. For those who are with us, let us know if this resonates with you. I'm going to see if there's one more that wants to come out. And Jennifer, feel free to share any thoughts. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about that card?
It really couldn't be a more perfect message for what we've been talking about, right? We've been talking about following your dreams, aligning with your purpose and your path. So I view that as a validation.
I do too. And this one is even more of a validation. It says, I speak and think positively.
Hello.
I know, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And so the back of it enhances that. It says, my current thinking shapes my future. If I hear myself using negative or limiting words, I change them. And it's, again, why I love pulling cards. So, yeah, Jennifer, thank you for being here today and helping us kick off our conversation on mindset, all about you aligning what is that you desire, what your vision is, and making sure that your mindset is both serving and supporting that vision so that you're stepping into a story that is actually one that's going to help you be able to achieve that vision, right? Oh my gosh, excuse me. So, and that concludes today's conversation. Let me see if there's any extra comments here we have.
Oh my gosh, what time is it? That flew by.
I know. That's just it. It did fly by. Helene is saying, I love it when you pull a card, Kim. I'm glad to hear that, Helene. I'm glad you do. And Sherry is saying, yes, totally. And Sherry is saying, nailed both today, Kim. Love it. No negativity in my life. Yes, yes, yes. Hallelujah. I'll just add that sometimes when you're in such a rhythm, this is just coming up right now, when you're in such a rhythm of thinking a certain way or believing a certain thing, you may not even recognize that you're in a pattern of negativity. This is all going back to that comfort piece, right? Being comfortable with how you've been thinking, how you've been doing things. And this is why the emotion piece is important. And we're going to be getting to that in the very next theme in about 5 weeks from now. But you want to be making sure that you're pairing up emotions that feel good with your vision. If you're not actually feeling good, something's off. There's things you're out of alignment. So I don't know, that came up today while you were talking a little bit, and I just wanted to infuse that into today's conversation as well.
Yeah, I just want to add on that too, that, at first, if you have a desire on your heart, but you're just not feeling it, it's really important to have those daily practices in place, whether it's meditation, affirmations. And at first, you're probably going to be doing it and you're not going to be buying into it, right? Like, why am I doing this? What's the point? But remember that you're essentially reprogramming yourself. And if you just stick with it, I promise, if you just stick with it, you will really begin to feel good, really begin to believe that what's on your heart is possible. It just requires consistency and commitment.
Awesome. Well, again, I want to remind everybody that they can go to jenniferspor.com and get Jennifer's free meditation. And of course, connect with Jennifer on LinkedIn as well. And those links are right in the comments. And that is our show for today. So thank you so much for being here with me, Jennifer.
Yay, thank you. It was such an honor to be here. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Likewise. All right. Have an amazing day, everybody. Take with you whatever you're taking away from today's conversation. Allow this to support you in moving in the direction of your vision, your goals and dreams, your purpose. And then we're going to come back again on Thursday and have another inspiring show for you. And I look forward to seeing you then. Have an amazing day. Bye, everybody.